What's up, YouTube? War Daddy here. I wanted to come on and talk about a few things that's happening in our area lately. And it's no wonder why people don't respect the police or the authority of the law. This is our county in Florida. Ex-Santa Rosa Sheriff's Office lieutenant sentenced to 30 years on sex charges. Yeah, we had a fat-ass fucking cop. I know him personally. He's a real authority, real moral authority. He's pretty much a punk. 17-year veteran of the police department. Arresting people for God knows what, anything, basically. He is the custodial parent of a 9-year-old girl that he molests. It's an ongoing molestation. They arrest him, come to find out there's another girl that he's molested, all in the name of the under the name of the badge and the law, and he served the public all right. This is the same guy that'll pull you over for speeding or invoke the law on you, yet he feels he's above it. Typical fucking cop. Well, I paid attention to this story because I know the asshole personally. Well, it comes to sentencing, and might have known it. He gets 30 years. Well, he gets more than 30 years. There's 117 counts of sexual battery. He gets 30 years for several counts, but they run them concurrent. So he gets 30-year sentence for molesting 2 young girls over a period of years. Now, I've seen people get 25 or 30 years for, murder. It's hard to believe that you got a deputy running around molesting kids and he gets 30 years. Now, in the same week in the paper, there's a young man who had got caught with child pornography in our area. Well, he gets 180 years in prison on his sentencing day. Now, I'm missing the whole, fucking, the moral equivalent here. I guess it's better to have molested a child physically than to have pictures of child pornography in your computer. Neither one of them are worth the fuck in my book, but how do you justify giving this fucking ex-cop 30-year sentence for actually physically molesting 2 minors over a period of years? You give him 30 years. You go over and give a man that got caught with some child porn in his computer 180 years. Now where's the fucking justice there? It's sickening what this and all this now. The sheriff of our county, which this deputy is not in our county, actually the one next door, but the sheriff in our county about a year ago got caught in Las Vegas with his mistress pulling slot machines on taxpayers' money. They've uncovered a kickback scheme he had going. God knows what else he had. He's unanimously elected for his third term, I think. A very popular guy. Only one problem. He had a kickback scheme to defraud the taxpayers of this county. And again, under the name of the law. He has an $80,000 a year administrative assistant, supposedly, that doesn't even live in our area. She lives in Tallahassee, so that's a couple-hour ride from here, but she's on payroll for $80,000 a year. I know what her job duties included, and it weren't administrative. But he has a kickback scheme where he's giving out bonuses of $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 in a check, but he wants you to give him $8,000 in cash back. And you got these morons at the police department and the sheriff's department. I mean, they're going along with it. I mean, that's a red flag immediately when someone wants you to take a check and give them cash back. But some of them probably felt forced. I'm sure he bullied some of them into it, to force them along, or it's like, if you don't want to go along with me, then look for a fucking job. All the while, he's standing up on this pedestal with his sheriff's badge shining bright. He's a He's a pillar of the community. He's the sheriff. He's the long arm of the law. But yet, evidently, he had issues with gambling, which I can understand anybody having a vice, but not when you're a policeman and you're arresting people every day for their vices. For you to defraud the taxpayers of this county for a mistress, for a beach house for her, for a personal gain. You use the prisoners in the county jail to work at his wife's business. And he's out to Vegas all the time pulling slots. Not to mention he's a fat fucking slob anyway. But so Charlie Morris, he goes up for, I think if he had gotten convicted of everything, he was facing 90 years in prison. But after millions of dollars in fraud and all this trail of devastation he's left, the sheriff department in fucking tatters. We've got a new sheriff now elected. He's inheriting in a mess. After all the atrocities and all the fucking travesties that he's committed, he gets 5.5 years in prison. Not even prison, it's a fucking federal work camp. He's basically got freedoms that normal prisoners never have. And they expect someone, after you sit around and witness this, to respect the fucking authority of the law. And you're gonna arrest people for doing way less than you do. Yet you think you are above the law to the point where you can steal money, molest kids, and all in the name of the law. You deserve a worse punishment than any criminal. At least a fucking criminal, he's just a criminal, you know. He don't make no qualms about it. But if you go behind the badge and your lame ass fucking existence, you hide behind the badge to commit the very crimes that you arrest people for, you are a ultimate piece of shit. Let alone the oath you took, let alone anything that you might try to stand for. That's why this system has no hope. The police are corrupted, the politicians are corrupted, right on down the line it goes. And you get to the normal, regular guy like me, I got my, who doesn't have issues? I do. Plenty of issues. But one thing I do not do is molest kids. And another thing I do not do is fraud people. I'm not the moral authority by any means. But I do know right from wrong because my daddy taught me better. I know not to molest children and would kill anybody that ever laid a hand on my kids. And and I'm a better man than the fraud people. I actually will go out and work for my money, even though I don't, barely make enough to survive. I'm happy like that. I don't have to defraud people so I can go hang out in Vegas with my mistress pulling slots in my fat ass existence. Get a fucking bunch of buffet food. But then again, I'm just white trash more or less in their eyes. I have unfortunately been in the very jail that this sheriff was over. It's a fucking rat den. There's 2-man cells with 4 men in them. It's an outdated facility. And no wonder they can't do anything with it to, maybe at least bring it up to some sort of a standard of decency. It's just a pathetic place. No, I don't think by no means jail should be a fucking Holiday Inn. But, a lot of times, everyone says, oh, well, they're just fucking, they're criminals, they don't deserve. Well, you don't know that until they go to court. A lot of times what you find is they're not criminals, they're innocent people wrongly accused. Like in the paper, recently I've seen many stories where DNA has exonerated people that have been on death row. That may have spent 17, 18, 20 years wrongly accused in prison. DNA clears them. And the fucking DA don't even have the balls to come out and say that they made a mistake. They will still stand there and say they think they got the right man, even though DNA has exonerated him. So if he wants to take that stance the next time that he's trying to prosecute someone under the guidelines of DNA, he shouldn't be allowed to do it. If he's going to question it, you cannot question DNA testing. It is 99.9% accurate. It's proven without a doubt. Science has proved DNA does not lie. But all they say to these people when they're, when they release them is, sorry, we didn't mean to take 17 years of your life and wrongly accuse you, imprison you for nothing. We're sorry about that. Now go have a good life. They offer compensation in any way. You can't even give the motherfucker an apology publicly. And so I think at this point, as many times as I have personally read articles and stories of people being exonerated from DNA testing, I think if there's DNA in any case where anyone is facing life in prison or maybe doing life in prison or facing, multiple years, it should be tested on the state's dime. They should be forced to retest any case, any DNA they have available for any case where someone's convicted or about to be. It should be tested from an outside source, not the crime lab that the cops have got in their pocket. The one that, from another area come in, very unbiased. They should test them to see how many more people they've innocently, for wrongly accused, who are innocent and incarcerated in this fucking pathetic prison planet we've come in, this prison system. Florida has a prison in every county in this state. The motto here is you come here on vacation, you leave on probation, but you'll be back on a violation. Probation and incarceration in this state have taken over tourism for the cash cow. That's what Florida will be known for soon, is all the prisons and all the probations we have. They send you to prison for not driving without a license in this state. So, but you can you can molest a kid and get 30 years. Or you can be a sheriff and defraud the public and get 5 years. All the while you're in protective custody, got the best of the situation in jail. And, regular old guy, don't let him get in any trouble because they'll run him through the ringer the whole time. The people involved are probably actively committing crimes that far exceed anything this man could do. But yet they're above the law. And that's the persona that government has in general, right on down to local people up to the feds. They all look down their nose and they think they're above us. No one's above me, and I'm above no one. But I will not bow to a mortal, and I will not respect the authority of the law. I will not respect the authority of the federal government. I question the laws that are written. I do not believe in persecution or prosecution for victimless crime. If no one has been harmed, there is no crime. If in someone else's opinion I've harmed myself, whose business is that but mine? If there's no one involved in the crime that is a victim, there should be no crime involved. It's ridiculous. They've got it down to every little, jaywalking is a crime in this state. It's absurd. But that's Florida for you, the Sunshine State. So come on down on vacation and leave on probation. But don't worry, you'll be back on violation. But this is what I just want to give you a few, try to find some interesting stories to let you know, my perspective and what I think of this situation is it's a travesty. One guy gets 30 years for ongoing abuse. One guy has pictures of porn, gets 180, and our sheriff gets 5 years after he defrauded and embezzled a couple $1 million. That's the justice system at work. That's your taxpayers' dollars hard at work. And they wonder why we don't want to pay tax. They wonder why people like me don't respect them and don't want to associate with them or even see them. I don't want to have to pay them. I don't want to have to fucking tolerate them. I like to be left alone, to be free, as my Constitution states. And I would like to have, freedom and the pursuit of happiness without fear of the federal government or fear of my local corrupted police. But this is War Daddy out. I hope you have everyone has a Merry Christmas. I'm celebrating Yule, for I'm a pagan, and I have a Yule tree instead of a Christmas tree. But season's greeting. The winter solstice is here. It's a cold night sky. Hope everyone has a safe holiday. War Daddy out. Yeah.